Is this a discipline problem or a design problem? Like, is it because you don't have enough discipline, or is it actually just because the system has a design problem? It's just not working for right now with your unique circumstances. Hello, and welcome to the Encourager Podcast, where we talk about real life and real systems so you can joyfully harmonize both home and work. I'm your host, Rebecca Scott. I'm a wife, mom, designer, coach, and lifelong systems thinker. And I help overwhelmed women build simple, sustainable rhythms that actually work for their real lives. Around here, we talk about priorities, pre-decisions, and practical tools that bring peace instead of pressure. Because you don't need more hustle, you need better systems and more grace. Today's episode is a good one. Hello, Encouragers. On this week's podcast, I want you to be able to identify when a system is broken, because we know that we can create some systems, but you may be wondering well, is this actually working or is this not? So I'm going to give you some reflective questions to think about to understand if your system is in fact broken. You know that feeling when the same problem keeps happening in your home or your work life? The laundry pile, the dinner scramble, the missed deadlines, the missed birthday parties. You promise yourself you'll be better next week, and you try so hard. But then the next week comes and it happens again, or you make it last for 2 weeks and it all comes crashing down. That's actually not a motivation problem, and it's not a discipline issue. It's just a broken system. So here are 3 signs your system might be broken. Number 1, you keep having to rely on willpower. How's that working for you? How long do we actually last? I think we last not as long as we did when we were younger. I think willpower fades a little bit. If something only works when you try really hard, it's not a system. If something only works when it's the perfect time, it's not a system. So here are some examples. Dinner only happens when you try really, really, really hard. You only work out when you're highly motivated. Or the house is clean, but only before company comes. That is a system running on willpower. A real system works even when you're tired, even when you have a newborn, you have a graduate, you're starting a new job. These systems that you create should work even outside of all the things that happen. They should work even when you're tired. Systems will reduce the decision fatigue, because this happens no matter what. It's just like running in the background, and it will reduce all that decision fatigue. Number 2, the same problem shows up every week. Recurring chaos is a huge clue that the system is broken. For example, the Sunday night panic about the week. You're like, bah, I made it this far, but now I got the Sunday scaries. The lunch packing stress every single morning, that the sports practices aren't on the calendar again, that the house feels completely undone every single night. When the same problem shows up every week, that just needs a system. Whatever is going on is totally broken. It can also show up if you're rebuying the same groceries because you're just so unsure and so overwhelmed with a meal plan that you're like, I don't know, just buy the same thing, and nothing is changing around that area. That is a broken system. If the same fire keeps starting, it means the system for prevention doesn't exist yet. But there's hope. You can create a system. And number 3, the system only works for one version of your life. Many systems will break when life changes. I'm laughing because how true is this? You create a system, but it's on a really awesome, perfect Monday, not on a frazzle Tuesday. So for example, a cleaning schedule that worked before the sports season, you were doing really good at home chores and the kids were lined up, it was working really good. And then you forgot it was because you were between sports. Right? Or maybe it's a work routine that collapses during busy months because you have to prioritize the family things. Or it's meal planning that fails during traveling or events because it's just not meant to take that on as well. So for my family, we used to do chores at 5 p.m. no matter what. I bet we did that for a good 5 or 6 years. I had an alarm on my phone that would go off, and it didn't matter where we would. This alarm would go off, and the kids would say, oh, it's chore time. And we would just know, well, guess what season that was? We were at home. We weren't busy running around to all the different activities as they got older. That system was gold, and it worked until it didn't. Okay. Now, obviously, I've been creating systems for a long time, so I started to recognize pretty early on which ones would work and which one didn't. But man, did I hold on to that one. I was like, it's working, until I realized about 4 of the 7 times of the week we were not home during that hour. So I got a new system. That system was broke, but I got a new one. Hey, encouragers, hope you're enjoying this episode. We'll be right back after this short break. This episode of The Encourager is brought to you by Rebecca Scott Designs, where we create thoughtfully designed purses and accessories that support your real life, not just your outfit. Every bag is designed with intention, handcrafted right here in South Dakota, and built around the belief that beauty and function should work together. From custom fabrics and linings to leathers, zippers, and really cool features, you get to design a piece that truly fits your life. Visit designyourownbag.com to create your own custom bag and use code ENCOURAGER for $10 off your purchase. A good system flexes with real life. Okay, this is why I teach the 5 systems: the me system, the food system, the home system, the family system, and the work system, because when one of them breaks, it will usually spill into the other ones. And so what we need to do is isolate it, figure out what is going right within it, what is going wrong, and just make the small tweaks to make it better or to make a new system so that they don't bleed into one another. If you have a broken food system, that causes a lot of stress within the family because everybody is hangry, right? And then that bleeds into the family time. And then the family is upset because of blah, blah, blah. You could go on and on. When you are not taking good care of yourself or really listening to what you yourself individually need, that may leak into your family system or into your marriage. Okay, so when we can isolate which system is the most broke and find out, wait, this system actually is broke, then we can isolate it, create a new system, and just start working ever so gently on making it better. I want you to ask yourself, with this system that might possibly be broke, is this a discipline problem or a design problem? Like, is it because you don't have enough discipline, or is it actually just because the system has a design problem? It's just not working for right now with your unique circumstances. Pick one recurring frustration this week and ask. The chances are it's recurring, okay? And then I want you to ask these questions. What keeps repeating this week? Where does it break down? And what tiny system could prevent this? A tiny example, you guys, is like there's shoes everywhere. Okay, create a basket by the door. That's a system, right? It's super simple. It's a system. The basket is a system. What's a tiny system you could create this week that would prevent some of this recurring frustration throughout the week? One tiny example for us that we've developed in the last year was I was getting really overwhelmed with our entryway. And we farm and ranch, so there's always a lot of dirt that comes into the house, but it was really irritating me to the point where I was like so crabby when I walked into our own house. And I'm like, from now on, this is where I want these shoes. And then I bought a little thing that it's a shoe rack, more or less, but it was hidden. So I didn't have to stare at all the dirt and everything of our lifestyles. So I could put their shoes away. And then I bought one more rug. And I was like, okay, from now on, no shoe belongs outside of a rug. And it relieved that recurring frustration when I came home. And then here's the beautiful thing. My kids are normal. They do not put their shoes where they belong every single time. So when we have the system after supper, when we are home, I do the dishes. I assign somebody to dry the dishes. I assign somebody to put the dishes away. And because I have multiple children, I assign one to go clean the entryway. And guess what they do? They put shoes in the shoe rack and the shoes on the rugs if they aren't already there. They're getting so good at it that everybody volunteers for the entryway because they don't have to clean it that much. Because we're getting better at knowing that mommy's frustration is when they're not on the rugs. But nonetheless, that was a tiny tweak that ended up being a really smooth system so that when I come home, I'm not overwhelmed. I mean, I do work from home, you guys, but on the chances that I come home, I don't feel overwhelmed when I walk in the door and the shoes are everywhere. There's a system. I have spent 20 years building systems while running businesses, raising my family, and managing our home. If you want some help designing systems that actually work for your real life, not just Perfect Monday that we talk about, that's exactly why I do my coaching. So if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, creating tiny systems within the 5 that will help you reduce the overwhelm and the frustration, it's my sweet spot, you guys. I love to reduce the overwhelm to increase your capacity. Go to theencouragerpodcast.com. You can book a free call there and let's chat. Let's see what kind of differences we can make in your systems. You don't need to work harder. You need systems that work for you. Until next time, encouragers, we got this because he's got us. If this podcast has encouraged you or helped you in any way, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe and leave a 5-star review. It truly helps more women find these conversations. And if you're listening thinking, I don't need more motivation, I need someone to help me figure out my actual life, that's exactly what I do. Through Encourager Academy and one-on-one coaching, I help women build personalized systems for their home, work, and life rhythms. No cookie-cutter routines, but structures that fit your unique personality, your season, and your capacity. You can explore the Academy or book a free discovery call at theencouragerpodcast.com. Let's take your next small step forward together.